Good day everyone. For today's lesson, we will be discussing about beam columns or structural members that are subjected to both axial and flexural loadings. So at the end of this module, we will be able to first calculate the bending stress. Second, identify the factors involved in combined axial and flexural loading. And then calculate the interaction value used in combined axial and flexural loading. So, let us review what is bending stress. By definition, alam natin yung bending stress it is the stress o yung flexural stress na nararamdaman ng ating usually beams, or yung mga sections natin subjected to transverse loading. For bending stress, that is equal to MC over I or also M over S, where FB is our bending stress, M is the moment, C is the extreme fiber from the neutral axis, and then I is the moment of inertia, or the inertia rather. So this is also equal to M over S, wherein S is I over C. So we will consider sa ating C if we have unsymmetrical section. Usually, ito ay mga build-up section wherein yung neutral axis natin wala sa gitna. So, for the value of C, we will use the most extreme fiber. So, why we need to use the most extreme fiber? Because S, or the section modulus, resists bending stress. If we have two section modulus from top and bottom of our neutral axis, we should consider smaller value for section modulus because it will resist bending. If you have two values, just like yung ating allowable value, or mode of failure rather. If we have three modes of failure, just like in our flexural sections or yung ating columns, or rather beams, for flexure beams. Diba sa beams natin, meron tayong dalawang kino-consider dyan. Una, yung ating length. And then, yung tinatawag nating local buckling pag 2015 kasi saka yung global buckling. So, if we have two modes of failure, ko-consider natin doon yung pinakamaliit. Kasi, if sa local buckling pa lang, for example, flange, local buckling, yan yung ating mode of failure. Saka meron tayong web, local buckling, and then meron tayong yielding. So ito ay global na to. For example, yan, 3 modes of failure meron tayo. If yung FLB mo, yung flange local buckling, meron kang, ang nakuha mo dyan is 10 kilonewton. Buckling, So, 10, ano ba nakuha natin dito moment, kilonewton per meter. Then, ito 15 kilonewton per meter. And ito naman is 9 kilonewton per meter. So, in these 3 modes of failure, kukunin natin yung pinakamaliit. Kasi, sa 9 kilonewton per meter pa lang na load, 9 kilonewton meter na moment, mag-yield na siya. So, ibig sabihin, pag kinuha mo yung web local buckling niya, wasak na yung, yung beam mo. Just like, dito sa ating section modulus, if we have two section modulus, and we know that section modulus resist bending, okay? So, dapat kukuhanin natin yung mas maliit na load. O yung mas maliit niya na capacity. Kasi dun pa lang, mag-fail na yung ating column or beam or kung ano man yung kino-consider natin dyan. Okay? So, that is for bending stress. How about for axial stress? So, actual axial stress dito, kino-consider natin na, case sensitive. So, FB, this is actual bending. F over A na maliit naman, this is actual stress. Okay? So, that is P over A. Okay, so, sa ating bending stress, we have 2 pala. Meron tayong MX over SX. And then, meron tayong MY over S sub Y. So, dalawa kasi yung ating axis dyan. We have x-axis and then yung y-axis natin. So, that is bending in both axes. Okay? So, let us define naman ngayon yung ating beam columns. Let us read, while many structural members can be treated as axially loaded columns or as beams with only flexural loading, most beams and columns are subjected to some degree of both bending and axial load. This is especially true for statically indeterminate structure. Even the roller support of a simple beam can experience friction that restrains the beam longitudinally, inducing axial tension when transverse loads are applied. So in this particular case, however, the secondary effects are usually small and can be neglected. So many columns can be treated as pure compression members with negligible error. If the column is a one-story member and can be treated as pinned or at both ends, and only bending will result from minor accidental eccentricity. The only bending will result from minor accidental eccentricity of the load. So, ibig sabihin, pag sinabi natin meron siyang eccentricity sa loading, wala siya sa centroid. Yung load natin hindi sumama sa centroid. So, for many structural members, however, there will be a significant amount of both effects, and such members are called beam columns. So, meron tayong dalawang dito. Sabi dito, yung mga members natin, well, subjected naman yun sa both axial and flexural loading. Kaso nga lang, yung iba nating members, sobrang liit lang nung flexural load niya or yung moment niya, sobrang liit lang. Kaya pwede natin siyang i-neglect. Just for example nga dito sa ating degree of bending, may mga beams natin na simply supported beams. So, yung roller daw natin, kahit papaano daw, nagre-resist pa rin siya. Kaso, sobrang liit na lang nun, kaya pwede natin i-neglect. Pero, pag sa column naman natin, or sa iba nating mga structure na medyo malaki na yung axial saka transverse load na kinikerry niya, tinatawag na natin siyang beam column, or iba na yung analyzation sa kanya. Okay, for bending moments in compression members tend to increase lateral deflection. That moments in tension members increase lateral deflection in turn result a larger moments. Okay, the members are then subjected to both axial and bending. So, pag sobrang laki na nung bending moments natin, so yung column natin, subjected na siya sa both axial and bending stress. Okay, ito sinasabi ko sa inyo, bending in one axis and then bending in both axes. Kasi meron tayong x and y axis, di ba? So, we have, syempre, first, this is column. So, take note na yung ating structure ay subjected na sa axial load. Kaya meron tayong P over A dito. And then, plus or minus MC over I for bending in one axis only. Then, for bending in both axes, P over A, axial load, plus or minus the bending stress in x-axis, and plus and minus the bending stress in y-axis. Okay, mamaya explain natin kung saan nagagaling yung plus and minus na yan. So, for members subjected to both axial compression and bending stress, shall be proportional to satisfy the following requirements. So, first, when the actual over allowable, the ratio to ng actual over allowable, again, this is case sensitive. So, yung FA natin na maliit, this is actual. O yung galing sa load, that is actual. This FA naman is allowable or the capacity. So, F na maliit is actual, F na malaki, that is the allowable. Again, the actual stress comes from the load itself. The actual, yung required strength, yan yon. So, FA naman, that's allowable. Magagaling yan sa ating section. Okay? Kung ano ba yung capacity ng ating section. Pag daw yaang FA over FA na malaki is less than or equal to 0.15, that means small axial compression lang yung kinikerry niya. Or, this is more of a beam, parang ganun. Kasi maliit lang yung axial compression. Pag malaki yung axial compression niya, our section is more of a column than a beam, parang ganyan. Okay, so pag small yung axial compression natin, ang interaction formula natin, so this is called interaction formula. Yan. Should be less than or equal to 1. So yung formula natin, that is simply the ratio of actual over allowable stresses. So we have axial stress, so FA over FA, and then yung ating bending stress sa x-axis, saka bending stress sa y-axis. That is the ratio, no? Again, that should be less than or equal to 1 para maging safe siya. Then, yung FA over FA na malaki natin, o yung ratio ng axial load, axial stress rather, pag greater than 0.15 na siya. So, that is large axial compression or our section is more of a column. So, FA over FA or again, interaction formula. Dalawa. Dito, no? Interaction formula natin, dalawa. So, first, we have the ratio of axial stress plus CMX, FBX over 1 minus FA over F prime EX. So, yung F prime EX natin dyan. This is the Euler's critical buckling load. Okay. So, napag-aralan na natin to last topic. That is equal to 12 pi squared E over 23 KL over R squared. So, yung 12 over 23, that is the factor of safety. And then, it should also satisfy the second condition or second interaction formula natin, which is actual stress, actual stress over 0.6 Fy plus bending stress about x-axis plus bending stress about y-axis should also be less than or equal to 1.0 to be safe. Okay, meron naman tayong from our equation, interaction equation dito sa taas. So, meron tayong hindi familiar, si C sub M. Okay, so for C sub M, that is the modification factor. For side sway not prevented, or tinatawag din natin itong joint translation, yung modification factor daw natin is 0.85. For side sway prevented, so walang side sway, ano? For members subject to transverse loading between their supports, so dalawa. For members whose ends are restraints against rotation, makikita nyo to dun sa ating module about column, ano, actually loaded column. Diba meron tayo iba't ibang support. So, if yung support naman natin, o yung ends niya are restrained against rotation, in the plane of bending, yung modification factor natin is 0.85. And then, for members whose ends are unrestrained against rotation, yung CM natin or modification factor is equal to 1.0. Then, for members not subjected to transverse loading between their supports, yung modification factor natin, ibig sabihin lang nito, not subjected to transverse loading, pero mayroon siyang moment, ano? For example, this figure, ayan. Wala siyang load, transverse load, pero, diba, kung ito ay column, transverse load niya, nandyan, banda. So, wala siyang transverse load, given sa kanya yung moment. Yung modification factor natin is given by this formula, 0.6 minus 0.4 M1 over M2. That should be greater than or equal to 0.4. Okay, M1 is smaller moment and M2 is the larger moment. Also, M1 over M2 is negative for when bent in single curvature. For For example, ng single curvature is this. If yung moment mo sa taas is, this is counterclockwise, di ba? And then, yung moment mo naman sa baba is clockwise. So, pag ganyan siya. So, magbe-bend siya in one, or in single curvature. Yung bending niya. Yan, single curvature. And then, pag naman, reverse curvature, or tinatawag din nating double curvature. So, paano nangyayari yon? Pag yung moment mo parehas ng direction sa top and bottom. For example, ito. Clockwise to, di ba? Clockwise moment. And then, clockwise din to. For both clockwise moments, ayan. So, double. Kasi ito will induce a curve. Go, pag ganyan, di ba? Then, this moment will induce a curve naman na pag ganun. Okay. So, nagkaroon tayo ng double curvature. Another moment natin, for example, counterclockwise sa taas, then counterclockwise din sa baba. Ayan siya. So, ito will induce bending moment na pag ganyan, and then ito naman, pag ganun. So, that is a double curvature or reverse curvature. So, that is positive. And the negative naman pag single. So, for amplification factor, that is the value of 1 over 1 minus FA over F prime E. Asan yan? Ito yan. So, this is called the amplification factor. Itong kulay green. And then, magnification factor naman, imbis na 1 yung kay amplification factor dito sa numerator, ayan, magiging modification factor siya. So, ito ngayon, etong nakabilog na green, yan yung amplification factor yung naka-highlight, and then modification factor yung naka-circle na green. Ayan. Okay, so that is for our discussion. And may note pala tayo dito, if the magnification factor is less than 1.0, use magnification factor equal to 1.0. So, yung magnification factor natin should not be less than 1.0. If less than 1.0 ito, gamitin natin yung magnification factor na yan, 1.0. Okay, so recap ulit tayo. Basically, ang kukunin lang natin una, tignan natin if siya ay may small axial compression or large axial compression to know the interaction formula. Okay, for small axial compression, that is the ratio of actual over allowable rather, pag siya ay mas maliit or equal sa 0.15, yan, meron siyang small axial compression. For interaction formula, so ito yung interaction formula natin, yan. Pag one axis lang yung bending natin, so bending in one axis lang, usually x-axis bending tayo o yung major axis yung magbe-bend, wala ito, no? Hindi yan kasali. So, pag both axis, meron kang FBX and then FBY. Then, pag naman large yung actual compression natin, so the ratio of actual over allowable is greater than 0.15. Ayan na, dalawa na yung ating interaction formula or interaction values. Again, yung mga interaction values natin should be less than or equal to 1. So, dalawa yung criteria natin for large axial compression. That is first, yung actual over allowable ratio plus this, then plus this, should be less than or equal to 1. Then next, ito naman. Actual stress over 0.6 Fy plus bending stress should also be less than or equal to 1. Pag less than or equal to 1, safe siya. Yun. So, pagkuha ng actual stress, that is P over A lang, di ba? Actual. Pag actual bending, FBX, FBY, yan, M over S. So, that is X. So, M over SX. Paano naman pag allowable? Kasi yung FBX natin dito na malaki, that is allowable, ano? So, for allowable bending, paano natin kukunin yan? So, balikan natin yung module natin sa flexural members. So, meron tayo ng mga criteria, di ba? Case 1, case 2, case 3. Tignan natin kung compact, non-compact, etc. etc. So, paano naman yun ay bending about x-axis lang. Kasi, paano naman pag weak axis bending? So, yung isa, pag compact yung section natin, na tutunan na natin do, di ba? Pag compact yung section, bending in weak axis, yung FB natin, 0.75 of FY. Paano pag hindi compact? So, punta tayo sa criteria pala na yan. See. Ito. So, members with compact section, so, were doubly symmetric I and S. Doubly symmetric I and H shape. Members with compact flanges continuously connected to the web and bent about their weak axis. So, except members that yield points greater than 448 megapascal. The solid round and square bars and solid rectangular sections bent about their weak axis. The allowable stress is at 0.75 Fy. Again, this is for compact flanges. And then for members naman with non-compact section, alam natin paano magkuha ng non-compact or kung paano malaman kung compact or non-compact. Diba may criteria tayo? Check natin kung compact yung flange and compact yung web. Makikita natin yan sa width to thickness ratio ng flange at ng web. Diba? Meron tayong BF over 2TF for I shape sa flange. Saka sa web naman, merong D over TW. So, for members naman, meeting the requirements for compact section, bent about their minor axis. Non-compact. Teka. Yan, not meeting the requirements for compact section. So, ibig sabihin, non-compact siya. So, yung bent about minor axis, 0.6 of Fy. Okay, ito is for doubly symmetric I shape and H shape. Ito naman yung ibang members. For compact, ito for non-compact. Ito pala yung symmetrically I shape and H shape. Parang ito yung magka-partner. This is for compact. Yeah, ito, compact. And then non-compact naman is this. Okay, basahin natin. Doubly symmetrical I shape and H shape. Members bent about their minor axis. Again, except members with the yield point greater than 448 megapascal. With non-compact flanges. Continuously connected to the web may be designed on the basis of an allowable stress of ayan. FB is equal to Fy multiplied by 1.075 minus 0.0019 BF over 2TF multiplied by the square root of Fy. Usually, ang nagagamit naman natin dito itong compact section. So, yung FB natin 0.75 of Fy. So, take note nyo na lang yan. Tatlo. Okay, so, let us have an example para masalo pa natin maintindihan yung beam column.